So within the lab itself, the social lab or change lab approach employs a lot of different change technologies, change approaches. And one of the main change technologies that we employ is something called Theory U. And this was developed out of MIT by a guy named Otto Scharmer. And it's become quite famous, and there's Theory U kind of initiatives being run all over the world. And the idea with Theory U is that typically, again, in society right now, we're trained to do sort of problem to solution, straight line kind of approaches. So A to B, what's the problem? How am I going to get there? Let's charge straight ahead. Which is, again, great if you're dealing with a complicated problem where the problem's clear and it can kind of be broken up and responsibility can be assigned. If, however, you're dealing with a complex problem, Theory U is a metaphorical detour from the sort of standard point A to point B problem solving. And there's very distinct steps at each stage of the detour. And we leverage Theory U in our workshop design. So in our 2-day workshops for the lab, typically we will sort of use these steps to help frame the workshop. And we leverage it sort of in our ongoing work as kind of a way of sort of thinking and conceptualizing about our work. And the steps are basically convening a strategic microcosm of the system you're trying to change, doing different things to immerse participants in the reality of the current system and to make sense of that. So how can you actually kind of bring a group together and develop deeper insights through that kind of the diverse perspectives, and how do you capture that? And so that's all sort of what we call the left side of the U. This is the big picture thinking sort of period. At the bottom of the U comes this made up word called presencing. And the theory here is that if you want to do something truly transformative in a system, it's useful to immerse yourself in kind of the history and the current reality of the system. But there comes a point where you actually very tangibly have to let go of the current reality and look to the emerging future. And this is this term term presencing that they use to capture that. And there are actually very specific facilitation techniques and ways that we bring the group kind of through this. And at this point at the bottom of the U is actually typically a pretty uncomfortable period, because things that we thought we knew as individuals get challenged, and all of a sudden there's a sense of feeling almost a little bit untethered, which is actually a positive thing in the process, because it's creating a space where brand new transformative things have a chance to emerge. And so as we come out of the U and go up the right side here, it's about honing in on, where are those leverage points within the existing system that we think that might bring about kind of transformative change, and how can we tangibly rapid prototype and test those hypotheses as efficiently as possible. And as we figure out, kind of come up with new insights and experiments that work, how can we then look to institutionalize those and have them kind of take root in the system more broadly? So Theory U is a core process that we'll be referring to through the lab, and you'll hear about it in most of our workshops in an explicit way, and it's a powerful process that I encourage you to kind of explore for your work on other kind of areas.